guys, it's Will with Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. It's another COVID-19 lockdown episode. I'm here at home, and what do I have for you? I have another Blu-ray review, and what movie is it? Oh baby, it's a doozy. 8 Diagram Pole Fire, hell yes, an absolutely classic Shaw Brothers film. This is from 88 Asia, which is like a sub-label of 88 Films where they put out these classic like Asian action films, like predominantly Shaw Brothers stuff and like early kind of Jackie Chan, like Dragon Lord like type films. So there's Gordon Liu right there, the man, the myth, the legend, Johnny Moe, 36 Chamber of the Shaolin. I mean, come on, this dude is like an absolute legend. And here we go. So this is again, I'm trying to get rid of that glare there. There it is. Slipcase from Kung Fu Bob. This film was released in, I think, 1983. It was shot in 1983. I'm getting some conflicting information about whether it was released in 83 or 84. I think it was released in 83 in Hong Kong and then maybe 84 like internationally or something like that. So here's the kind of reversible cover art there, so you can pick and choose which one you like. I love the Kung Fu Bob kind of drawing cover art for this one, so I left that as my main one there. And then you have a poster in here rather than the booklet that you get with like if you have any of their releases of the Jackie Chan films, there's like a booklet in there. Here instead we have a poster of the Kung Fu Bob artwork. So that's pretty freaking cool. So there's not like a ton of bonus features on here, so hopefully this won't be too long of a review. But I really like this release, and the picture quality is incredible. And again, as I've said before, I'm not like one who knows a ton about the technical aspects of it, but I own this movie on DVD. I'm going to talk about this in a second, but I have the Dragon Dynasty release here, and I also think I've watched that movie. Maybe it was on Netflix or Hulu or something at some point, or Amazon. Like I've seen that movie in a couple different presentations, and that is by the 88 Films release, 88 Asia release, is by far the best presentation of the film I've seen. And it's a relatively inexpensive release. I think it's £15, which is because 88 Films is a British company, so I think that would make it well, the last time I looked at the exchange rate, it was around $20. I don't know if that's changed because of what's going on with the stock market because of the coronavirus, but it's not that expensive. It's really not. And so I think it's definitely, if you're someone who has this film on DVD, or if you cherish a VHS copy, or maybe you have like a digital copy that you really like or something like that, I think this is definitely worth the upgrade. Like the colors especially are incredible. I actually popped in the Dragon Dynasty release to, as you can see here, it's just kind of like I'm not plugging this. I don't need to do this, but I figured, what the hell. And like, come on. What, like this artwork, no offense to Dragon Dynasty, but like this artwork is not nearly as good as the 88 Films artwork. There's no bonus features on here at all. And it's just like, I mean, it's so worth the upgrade because it looks so much better. It has a really great audio commentary track, which I'm going to talk about in just a second here. It has better artwork, like better everything. So definitely upgrade. And I've heard that it has much better subtitles, because it has a newly commissioned English subtitles. So I don't speak, Cantonese. I believe this is a Cantonese, not Mandarin film, right? It just says uncompressed Chinese audio. But, I mean, I would assume that it's in Cantonese. So I can't tell you which has better subtitles because I don't understand what they're saying. But apparently the subtitles are really good, too, and, like, much improved over previous releases of the film. So the main thing really that I'm going to talk about here, other than the fact that I really believe that this is like worth the upgrade and that it's much better than any of the other kind of releases out there that I've seen of it, is the audio commentary. So the audio commentary is done by someone who I'd never heard of before. He's English and his name is Scott Harrison. And so his commentary is really interesting because it's this really interesting mixture of like historical information, technical information, and then he's a huge fan of this movie, and he talks about his own personal experiences with like how he first saw this film and the number of times he's seen it over the years, and he talks about how it's influenced all these different filmmakers and huge fans of Hong Kong cinema, and how it's a pretty late film for the Shaw Brothers, like 83, 84, right? Because that was like right around when they kind of shifted their focus away from movies, I think. So it's kind of like it's like the end of the era, and yet it's one of their most well-known and most influential films. Obviously, an influence on Kill Bill, right? And I might be wrong about this, but I believe this movie is referenced in a Wu-Tang album title or Wu-Tang song title. So obviously, you know, the name Wu-Tang comes from 36 Chambers of Shaolin. Well, that's the name of their first record, 36 Chambers of the Shaolin. But the name Wu-Tang comes from another Shaw Brothers film too. So they're obviously RZA, especially is like way into Shaw Brothers films. But the the information on this audio commentary track is really good. And typically, I find when you get audio commentary tracks from film scholars, they tend not to know a ton about the actual process of filmmaking. So there's not a lot of like interesting information about that, and a lot of the times the historical information they have is not that insightful. Dave Kerr's commentary track on Hardboiled comes to mind. I mean, not to like, you know, lambast people, but like just thinking of kind of other stuff I've seen where I'm like, I don't know how much I'm learning from this. Stephen Prince has done a number of commentary tracks for the Criterion Collection for Kurosawa releases, and there, I mean, like, if you're just a fan and all you want to know is like basic fan information and it's just a form of entertainment for you, like, I guess it's fine. Like, I've lived in Japan, obviously, and you know, I say obviously because I've mentioned that a lot on this channel before. So I've lived in Japan, and I've studied Japanese films and Japanese culture, and I also went to film school, and so I've worked like, you know, in and around the film industry, and so I find Stephen Prince's audio commentary tracks to not really be helpful or interesting or insightful at all. And this is very different. Like, you know, he talks about the lenses that they used and the like Shaw scope, and like how, you know, you have Toho scope, which was out of Japan, and then you have like CinemaScope in the US and stuff like that. And then he talks about how you can tell by the nature of the wide angle that the lenses that they're using were probably based on like a French type of like super widescreen lens. And so that's how they developed Shaw scope. And then he talks about, you know, like editing technique, the intentional theatricality of the film, the way that the Shaw Brothers used sets, the acting style of the film, and then something that I found to be really interesting was historical information about the UK ratings board, and like how like the certificate that this film was given when it first came out, and how the guy who ran the UK ratings board at the time was very opposed to violence in cinema, and so he, you know, there's like the whole video nasties thing, and like he banned a lot of stuff, and there was like a list of movies that were not allowed to be released, and like, you know, the way that ratings work, you know, like an 18 versus a 15, and versus how that might compare to like an R, PG-13, NC-17 in the US, like, or the ratings in Hong Kong with category 2, category 3, like that kind of stuff. And so it's just really interesting, you know, as a huge fan of cinema, as someone who's involved in, kind of like peripherally involved. I don't want to like oversell myself, but peripherally involved in the film industry here in Los Angeles. And I found it to be really interesting and a lot of insightful information. And I didn't like, sometimes when I watch audio commentary tracks, I just kind of skim them, or I like listen to like the first 20 minutes to get the gist of what they're talking about. I turn it off. I watched the whole thing, and I like was totally entertained by it and really loved it. And so, because I watched the movie too, you know, for this review to see like the image quality, sound quality, and also just because I love this movie and I wanted to see it again. So I watched this movie twice in like two days, I think 2 or 3 days, because I watched it straight through, and then I watched it with the commentary. So this is the 88 Films 88 Asia release of 8 Diagram Pole Fighter, the absolutely classic Shaw Brothers film. Again, highly recommended. Like, if you're looking to upgrade from the DVD, absolutely get that. I do have to say that that is a Region B release, because 88 Films is a UK based company, and so that means that if you have a European player, it will play just fine. If you live outside of Europe, you would need to have like a multi-region player. So it's just something to think about. My name is Will. You've been watching Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. Thank you so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, please. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a comment. We will see you next time.